Can you beat Castle Crashers completely blindfolded? Is it possible to navigate the world map, fight every enemy, and defeat all 20 bosses whilst staring into the empty black void of nothingness? Actually, wait, no, I don't think I want to do this. After leaving the barracks and not seeing the evil wizard steal the king's crystal, I set out into the burning village below and fought my first group of enemies. Hey, move out the way, me, we can't see the action. Well, if we could see, the character I decided to play for this challenge is Paint Jr. That's because out of all the 32 playable characters in Castle Crashers, Paint Jr. is the only one who has a randomized splash magic position. Since Castle Crashers' initial release in 2008, every playable character's splash magic either shot in a straight line or appeared around the character. But with the addition of Paint Jr. in the Painter Boss Paradise DLC, we now have a splash magic that randomly spawns anywhere on screen. Paint Jr. also starts with the pencil weapon, giving me a busted +7 magic, allowing me to shred through these starting barbarians.
Okay, nice. Okay, next one. So first 2 waves, princesses are getting kidnapped. That's good. Well, okay, no, that's not good.
To make this challenge run even harder, I also allowed my live viewers, follow me on Twitch at Reckerless TV, to play sounds throughout my playthrough, meaning I had no idea what sounds were real, leading to scenarios like this.
Anyone still alive? Yeah, we're still alive. No next wave yet. Was that a real one? Was that a real one or a fake? That was a fake! God damn it! It's already started! Is it done? No! Oh, God, no. No, that sounds so real. Am I winning? I think. Wait. Did I die? No. Wait. Am I at the shop? Oh my God, I'm at the shop.
After acquiring, healing potions, I entered the world map where I now had to navigate completely blind. Doesn't sound too bad, right? I mean, you just push the analog stick in the direction you want to go. Nope, because I play on mouse and keyboard, meaning my directional input goes from a single stick to however many buttons are on this keyboard.
World map. I should probably have changed the controls because I don't know what H is on my keyboard. A, S, D, F, G, H. That should be H. And then it brings me to, so H brings me to home castle. Left should be blacksmith. Oh my God, yes.
I was now at the blacksmith where I needed to grab the first of 3 relics and, oh no, just a little bit more. Okay, I guess we'll come back for that later.
All right, what animal do I want? Hawkster. Oh my God, I should have met. I can't. No, I'm not taking damage here. I should have memorized the animal orbs. Okay. So let's get to the top of the screen. I should be face to face with the nurse right now. Okay, first 4 is like Owler. I think Hawkster is the first one here, far left. Here? Okay. We should have Hawkster.
I pushed out into the Barbarian War, which had some Grey Knights fighting on my side. So even blindfolded, I had no issue reaching the first boss of the run.
No, War Machine? Okay, I thought, okay, all right, lock in.
With my 1,000+ hours of experience in Castle Crashers, I had a pretty good understanding of how the War Machine functions. The only issue I ran into, though, was figuring out where the War Machine was. Because I'm blindfolded. Yeah.
I'm hitting something. That sounds like a War Machine. Yeah. All right. Let's try and keep a juggle going. Or at least in the air so the bombs don't hit me. That is a fake wave sound. I know that. Okay, War Machine dead. Barbarian should drop dead too. All right, first boss down. First boss. Okay, easy.
After defeating the War Machine, I soon ran into my next big issue for this run. And that's nothing. Yeah, so it turns out that during this challenge, a constant problem I faced was when nothing was happening on screen. as I literally had no audio to go off. And for this instance, the sleeping barbarians really messed me up since they don't attack until they have been woken up, adding yet another layer of confusion on top of like everything else. But after passing the final few barbarians, I destroyed the wooden gate and passed through to the bridge where this happened.
Oh, okay. Through the gate, I think I'm on the barbarian bridge. Okay, the gate must have already been destroyed. That's fine. Did I die? No.
After taking my first death, I invested my skill points into both magic and defense, as they were the most important stats I needed for this run. I then returned to the blacksmith and picked up the compass. Oh, okay, never mind then. In the animal nursery, I once again attempted to get Hawkster, but ended up with Owlet, which I guess is a slight improvement to Mr. Buddy, so I'll take it. But before attempting Barbarian War again, I made my way to Castle Keep and restocked my healing potions.
Oh, hello, good sir. I would like your finest selection of healing potions. Yes, all five, please. Thank you. Yes, no, tip on me, thank you. Some good quality healing potions. Come on, the only thing with this blindfold, it keeps like riding up. Oh, I just hit the mic. Uh-oh. Oh, no, new weapon. No. Oh, okay. Am I winning? I think I'm winning. Come on, paintings. No! What happened to my 5 healing potions? Okay, one machine dead. I'm so lost. Oh, wait. Am I at the gate?
So I was once again stuck at the sleeping barbarians, where this time the game decided to completely troll me, as my paintings made collision sounds on this rock, further adding to my confusion as I thought I was hitting the gate. But after destroying the real gate, I finally defeated the barbarians on the bridge, officially completing Barbarian War. Next was the barbarian boss, which luckily had its own dedicated checkpoint. And for the second boss fight, I had luckily unlocked my projectile magic, meaning I now had a consistent high damage magic attack that would always summon in front. And things were going smoothly, until I ran into a different kind of problem.
Okay. What just happened? Behemoth, if you're still here, I beg, please, can you add a mouse lock to PC?
Yeah, so I run a double monitor setup, and for some reason, Castle Crashers still does not lock your mouse to the monitor you're playing on. Meaning on top of everything I have to worry about in this challenge run, I now also have to worry about my mouse drifting off to the other monitor and tabbing me out of the game. But aside from that, the rest of the barbarian boss fight went pretty smooth, and after defeating him, I did my best to collect as much gold as I could before rescuing the princess and completing the level. Before progressing further, I finally collected the golden compass before returning to the shop and acquiring more healing potions.
Oh my god, this song is so nostalgic. God, I miss playing Castle Crashers with the in-game music.
Now, I would love to keep Jumper playing, as it's easily my favourite song in Castle Crashers. But unfortunately, it's copyrighted. But fret not, YouTube viewers, as I have come up with a solution. Next was Thieves Forest, where my confusion was hitting an all-time peak.
Pippin Bear? Pippin Bear? Wait, where am I? I'm so lost. Where's Pippin Bear? Am I taking damage, or was that you guys using this damage sound effect? I'm so confused. Oh my god, I completely forgot about the troll section.
Wreck, a troll is stuck out of bounds. Run up and backwards.
Run up and backwards. Is a troll actually out of bounds? There's no way a troll's out of bounds. Is this
Go up.
Up. Okay, I've gone up. Now what? I've gone up.
Run a little up and right.
Okay. Up and right? I went up and now I'm right. Oh! Wait. Okay, wait. Okay, so we just picked up the weapon. I know where I am. No. Oh! Yes! Bear poop! Oh my god, I've never been happier to hear a bear poop.
Yeah, so my chat trolled me into getting Seahorse, and we now have to deal with this. Actually, no. You know what? I'm not dealing with this. You guys can. Eventually, Reckerless and I made our way onto the Troll Mother. At first, we tried using splash magic as the drawings can cover a large area, but after constantly getting swarmed by trolls, we resorted to juggling. This allowed us to stay safe from the trolls, whilst occasionally hitting the Troll Mother as she walked into us.
Was that it? Oh, first try? First try? Oh, let's go! Oh my god, that's huge.
After defeating the Troll Mother, we were immediately chased off by the Troll Father. Abandoned Mill was easily one of the worst levels for a blindfolded challenge run, as the entire level is literally dodging multiple obstacles with 0 sound cues. So, to no one's surprise, we took another death here. But hey, at least we had 6 skill points we could put into defense. Oh wait, no, that's not defense. Oh no. After beating Thieves Forest, we had gained access to the Thieves Store, which was a lot easier to navigate compared to Castle Keep. And so for like the first time in this entire challenge, we actually had healing potions, meaning we were able to face tank all of Abandoned Mill and splash our way into River Rapids. Now, I don't know if you know this, I actually make the player move faster in water. See guys, I'm not completely useless. Now, when it comes to the content of this level, not much happened except from getting rage baited by a fish.
Where is he? Where's the enemies? Enemies?
The catfish was our next boss and was easily one of the worst bosses in this run. That's because catfish has a 4 times damage resistance at all times, which can only be removed by lining him up with the king's bolt, destroying its coughed up hairball, and stalling long enough for the catfish to be hit by the ship's cannon. Yeah, we were not doing that. So instead, we slowly and painfully whittled down Catfish's 4 times resistant health over the course of 10 minutes. Yeah, that really sucked. After spending more skill points and acquiring healing potions, we landed on the shore of Tallgrass Fields to assist the king and his troops.
Don't worry, king. I will save you. I may be blindfolded. I may not know where I am, but I will save the kingdom and get the crystals and princesses back.
The next boss of our run was the bear boss, who was for once not a complete pushover. Normally, Reckerless would just juggle this bear boss and defeat him in 5 seconds, but it was a little bit different for this challenge. The combination of the bear's small size, constant mobile tornado attack, and Rami meant that we really struggled to get any hits on him. Then there's also the 4 other bear enemies who act as meat shields for this boss, taking the hits from our magic and infinitely respawning when killed. But with enough time and RNG, the bear boss was defeated, and with it comes the end of our partnership. Oh, is this the part where I drop you for Rami? Oh, awesome. Alright, you can go, Seahorse. Wait, where's that music coming from? A stove is a stove, no matter where you go. A party is a party, that's what I say. A grill is a grill, This is surely so, and fries should be fries either way. But this grill is not a home, this is not the stove I know. I would trade it all away if you'd come back to stay. This kitchen's not the same without you. It's just a greasy spoon without you. I know us gamers hate to shower. It's easily the worst part of my year. But it doesn't have to remain that way. YouTubers Moist Critical and Queso have teamed up to bring us Cheeky, packed with every moisturizing ingredient you could think of, fun fragrances that actually smell nice, and no harsh chemicals. Since switching to Cheeky, I've noticed a major improvement with my skin, and I'm confident you'll find a bar that suits you too. My personal favourites are Touch Grass, Queso's Kokomo, and License to Clean. Cheeky's Memorial Day sale is live right now, so head on over to Use Cheeky and use code Recker for 20% off your order. Links can be found in the description below, and thank you Cheeky for sponsoring this channel. After defeating the bear boss and parting from Seahorse, I flew over the bear's artillery, got stuck on this giant boulder, and made my way into PP Shrello's cave. But before entering, I put some more skill points into my magic, unlocking my air projectile magic. I then changed weapons to, bushy stick for some reason, and farmed some gold to buy more healing potions. Inside PP Shrello's cave, the only thing I had to worry about were the slimes munching on my head, but apart from that, the slimes were annoying, but not too hard. PP Shrello was next, and well...
PP? PP? Are we chill? Oh, PP Shrello! Oh, I love you, PP Shrello!
Yeah, so even blindfolded, PP Shrello is just a chill guy. Next was Flowery Fields, which was pleasantly easy for this challenge. Normally, Flowery Fields is one of the hardest and worst level in these challenge runs. Just thinking back on the no start insane mode or horn only is enough to set off my trauma. But since this challenge run is on normal mode, it meant the granites were not made of wet paper and could actually help. Yet, despite the hard parts of Flowery Fields being easy for once, not everything was smooth sailing.
Okay, we're already at the cannon. All right, how do I get in? I need to make sure I need to get in the cannon shooty thing. Am I in it? No. Okay, let's go to all the far right of the screen. Okay, and then we're gonna go to the top, very top right, and then a little bit to the left. Down. Oh no.
Buckle your pants, buckle your pants. Pull up your socks and dance. Buckle your pants, buckle your pants. Buckle your pants, buckle your pants. Hey, I said dance. Buckle your pants, buckle your pants. Ladies.
So all the way top right, little bit left, like tiny bit. There. Down. Good. There's no way. Oh, yes. Okay.
After another restock, I crashed into Wedding Crash and fought my way to the Groom boss fight. Now the Groom has two different phases during his fight. His first phase sees him become hyper aggressive, getting right in my face and spamming a whole bunch of different attacks. Whereas the second phase plays more defensive, as the Groom retreats to his organ and just spams bombs on the whole arena. So my only damage opportunity comes from his aggressive phase, where I have to catch the Groom with either my magic or melee before he stun locks me with his attacks. Which is made easy considering the fact that the Groom is kind of dumb and just runs at you in a straight line. And as for the bomb phase, yeah, I just got to run around and hope I got lucky. So to my surprise, the groom was actually a lot easier than I expected for this challenge. Next was the parade, which featured a small platform for me to stand on, meaning the enemies were always going to be in front of me, so I could just throw them off. The boss from this level was also stupidly easy, as he literally cannot attack if you just occasionally hit him. So I buzzed around the giant troll like an annoying mosquito and progressed onto Cyclops Cave. This level reintroduced the slimes, but with the added danger of coneheads. Back in PP Strello's cave, a slime munching on my head was more of an annoyance than danger, but here in Cyclops Cave, a munching slime completely immobilizes me, giving the hard-hitting coneheads a free opportunity to do damage. Things didn't get better for me, as after defeating the first wave of enemies, I had to fight even more coneheads and thieves, meaning bombs, arrows, and melee stunlocks were all problems I now had to face. Did I mention I was blindfolded? Animal orb, weapon, and restock later, and we were back in the caves. This time around, I focused more on my melee and juggling rather than my magic. Although my melee did a lot less damage, juggling the enemies allowed me to hit multiple at once whilst also keeping mostly safe from the enemy bombs and arrows, allowing me to move on to the third and final wave where I had to deal with more slimes and coneheads. But after losing half of my frontal lobe, I progressed onto the next level, which was by far the most dangerous level so far.
Stop. Go. Stop. Go. Stop.
After entering Cyclops Fortress with no healing potions, I decided to visit the church store nearby and restock.
Good day to you, sir. Thank you for the potions. I hope it is blessed.
Yeah, it went exactly how you'd expect it to go. So I farmed some more gold, grabbed Beholder for a +4 magic stat boost, changed weapons, and actually grabbed some healing potions this time. Meaning on my next attempts of Cyclops Fortress, I was able to survive all waves of coneheads, plus the conehead elite and fire demon. This left nothing but the Cyclops boss, who was a lot harder than I expected. The Cyclops boss has 2 attacks. The first sees him melee into the ground, knocking the player over and cannot be blocked. Whereas the second is a projectile attack which can be blocked, but will always happen outside of melee range. Lucky for me, the Cyclops boss fight works almost like a dance, and if you can get the timings right, the Cyclops is very easy to predict. But whilst things were going smoothly, the Cyclops decided to throw things off by jumping around this coffin. After a lot of confusion, I was able to get back into rhythm, but of course, the Cyclops was not having that, as he became enraged, increasing the speed of his attacks and throwing off my timings once again. And my live viewers were not helping either.
I am gonna send you to Cagabandoro, Central African Republic with Samuel L. Jackson.
I can't hear the game! Shut up!
From enchanted vines.
I can't hear the game! I'm concentrating!
After saving the second princess, I immediately entered the lava world, one of the longest and possibly hardest levels in Castle Crashers, featuring hard-hitting enemies that are all medium juggles, multiple level hazards, and finally 2 back-to-back boss fights. One advantage I did have was that the fire demons tend to group together, making my splash magic really effective against these fire demons. But this led me to the first roadblock of the level. So to get past this large metal gate, I had to be beefy, which is normally not a problem since you can just go to the Lava World store and buy sandwiches. Which I totally did, right? After farming sandwiches from the fire demons, I went beefy and removed the gate, only to progress a few waves and die right after. Cool, yeah, totally didn't waste a bunch of time right there, yeah. So before entering Lava World again, I made sure to actually visit the store this time and restock my items.
Hello, good fire keeper, fire demon, sir. Please guide me to your nearest potions and sandwiches. We're gonna just hit everything, because if I can get healing potions too, that'd be nice. I just don't need bombs. Oh, this shop doesn't sell bombs. We're fine.
Yeah, I died again. At this point in the run, I was really regretting giving my viewers any sort of power, as this was the kind of stuff that I was dealing with regularly.
Hi 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 hi.
But nevertheless, I finally managed to restock my healing potions and progressed back through Lava World, this time making it to the skeletons. Now these enemies are the only ones in Lava World that are light juggles, which instantly boosted my survivability and honestly being the easiest part of the level. And after almost dying to some more fire demons, I moved on to the first boss of Lava World, which is the volcano. For this boss fight, the only way you can damage the volcano is by hitting it whilst beefy. And lucky for me, I still had some sandwiches left over from my previous shop visit, so I simply lined myself up with the volcano and spammed air juggles, allowing me to do damage to the boss while staying safe from the fire demons below. It was now time for the final boss of Lava World, with a trickle of health. God, I hope I have a healing potion left. For the dragon boss fight, I knew that I had to jump and hit in the top left corner of the screen, guaranteeing damage to the boss. However, I also leave myself wide open for damage, as when the dragon boss does his fire breath attack, I am also guaranteed to be hit, leaving me vulnerable on the ground for a stray fire demon attack or even the giant boulder. But with a healing potion left in the tank, I simply kept flying to the top left of the screen and meleeing until there was no sound left.
Range pet and also im laser, left magnifying glass emoji, left magnifying glass emoji, left magnifying glass emoji.
Did I do it? Is that it? Yes! Oh my god! Yes! Holy! That was a hard level. I'm so glad we did that.
You know the drill by now. I farmed gold, spent my skill points, and restocked my items, as it was now time for the industrial castle. If I could get in, that is.
What am I? Why am I not coming? What? Why did you not grab the gate? What?
Thankfully, Industrial Castle was a lot easier than Lava World, mainly due to the fact that every enemy here is a light juggle. So after defeating the first few waves of enemies, I made it onto the traps of Industrial Castle, where I actually did not struggle at all. Yeah, so just pushing forward and spamming the jump button pretty much did the trick. The elevator section was a breeze too, as I simply just sat in the corner and light juggled any enemies within range. Now the brute, however, was certainly a step up in challenge, as he was hyper aggressive and didn't give me any room to breathe. Things got a lot worse for me, as when trying to find my bow and arrow, I ended up wasting my healing potions instead, resulting in 0 healing potions by the time the brute was dead, which isn't great considering the industrial machine was next. Now this boss is easily one of the worst bosses for a blindfolded challenge, as instead of having a single boss to keep track of, I instead had to fight 7 moving parts that all cycle in and out of damage phases. And if that wasn't bad enough, my movement is also restricted, as the sides of the arena damage me and knock me back when standing on them. This meant that tracking which part of the machine to damage was close to impossible, and doing so whilst avoiding damage would almost certainly lead to death, since I had no healing potions. So instead, I opted to stay at the top of the screen and spam my splash magic, allowing me to fight this RNG boss with my own RNG. And somehow this actually worked. Being at the top of the screen, remove the RNG of the boss's hand attack, since I know it will always be to my left. So I was able to quickly remove that danger with my high damage projectile magic. And as for the rest of the boss parts, my splash magic just slowly destroyed them one by one.
I did it! I did it! Oh, let's go! Oh, dude, Paint Jr. was the choice. Paint Jr. was the pick. If I had any other character, that fight would have been close to impossible.
Before moving into the second half of Castle Crashers, I first went and changed my animal orb, but instead, accidentally removed it when trying to leave. But it's alright, as when I went to get a new weapon, I somehow got perfect luck with the bear club.
This one. Okay, that's bear club, 100% bear club.
The pirate ship was our next level and was extremely easy, due to the fact that the area is narrow, basically making my splash magic a guaranteed hit on the ninjas. This brought me onto the desert, which wasn't as easy. The scarabs would often get in my face and knock me over with their melees, and when there were 2 scarabs, well, it was just pure chaos. Combine that with the 2 royal guards later in the desert, and this wave of enemies easily had the potential to roadblock my run. And trust me, I do not want that again. But for this wave, my strategy was to fly above the enemies while shooting my air projectile magic. Since Paint Jr.'s air projectiles is just his splash magic, I could have the drawings run down below, hitting all the enemies, whilst I stayed mostly safe in the air. This strategy brought me onto the next boss of the run, which is the UFO. Now for this blindfolded challenge, I found that flying enemies were absolutely the worst boss fights for this run. As with regular boss fights, you will always know that the boss is chasing you and will be somewhere in your vicinity, and stationary boss fights are, well, stationary. But with flying bosses, there's genuinely no way for me to know where they are on screen. But after defeating both UFOs, I was sucked up by a bigger UFO, and then that UFO was sucked by a bigger UFO, and then that UFO inside the alien ship. I was met with what would become my biggest roadblock yet, and that was these gates. To progress this part of the game, I need to destroy the laser control panel that's conveniently just outside of the lasers. The problem is that, well, I'm blindfolded, if you somehow couldn't tell by now. So to progress, I had to blindly shoot my magic or arrows until I destroyed this panel, letting me move through the level and fight like a million aliens. Okay, it wasn't a million, but it felt never ending with my blindfold on. After defeating the maybe 1 million aliens, I was stopped by the second gate in the alien ship, but this time, the control panel was before the lasers. Alright, yeah, that's a lot easier than the first gate. So, what's the roadblock here? Yeah, that's not good. Let's call this alien Bob. See, Bob here has a smooth brain, and so when we help him escape, Bob sends the ship into self-destruct mode. And no matter how many late night talks we have with Bob, I cannot convince him to not blow up the ship. So to complete alien ship, I have to get past the third laser gate with the control panel outside of the lasers, fight 2 waves of aliens, run through these awkward out-of-the-place steam traps, and finally weave through this Shrek-looking queue line all in 60 seconds whilst blindfolded. So if you think I did this on my first try, well, you're wrong. And stupid. So after breaking myself out of prison, defeating 10 100,000 aliens, I found myself escaping a self-destructing ship once again. This time taking me 40 seconds just to destroy the gate, and my remaining 20 looking like this. Clearly, this was not gonna work. Even if I got extremely lucky and destroyed the gate within like 10 seconds, I still have to get past all the other bullshit this level throws at me. So, we need a new plan. We need to somehow get past this laser gate without setting off the ship's self-destruct. We need to kill Bob. Nah, I'm just kidding, but we do need to paralyze him. Instead of destroying the gate's control panel, I instead opted to just phase through the laser. By perfectly timing my B-feet right before I take damage, I'm able to skip over the damage frame of the laser, allowing me to pass without freeing Bob. And with Bob stuck on the toilet, the ship's self-destruct never begins, meaning I can beat the aliens, pass through the steam traps, and make it to the escape pods with as much time as I want. After crashing back into the desert, I was rage baited by this Saracen riding a camel before doing some rage baiting myself.
Well, Mr. Enemies. It appears there's a giant shovel in your way, so you cannot touch me. Don't worry, I will make it quick and merciful if you just die for me quickly to my paintings.
Next was the volleyball game, which, I have to play volleyball blindfolded? Well, this shouldn't be as bad as the alien gates, right?
I need to win. Wait. Oh my god! No! Oh my god, I thought I died.
Anyway, after a back-to-back roadblock, the mash was next, which, oh my god, I'm stuck on a wall again. For the skeleton wave, the combination of my bear club and Rami meant I was easily able to survive the onslaught of beefies, and my splash magic did a really good job of clearing out the regular enemies. Later in the level, I was able to stay at the top of the screen, avoiding spawning more snakies from these houses, as I safely moved on to the Troll Mother. Now this Troll Mother is actually a little stronger than the original one in Thieves Forest, and has the added danger of 4 snakies. But just like the Troll Mother, I too have gotten a lot stronger. So with a healthy combination of juggling and splash magic, I had no issue finishing up the rest of Marsh as we moved on to the Corn Boss. Now the Corn Boss had the potential to be yet another roadblock for me in this challenge. I mean, the formula for one is right there. The boss has long immune phases and short damage phases. The position of the boss is unpredictable and always changing, and standing still is simply not an option. So after realizing that melee was not going to work and my magic wasn't that effective, I figured out that I'm pretty damn good at cheesing the Corn Boss even blindfolded.
Oh, wait, did I actually do it? Oh my god, I'm so good at this game, dude.
If you don't know how this glitch works, you simply have to line the Corn Boss up with the start of this mound, whilst also being at the bottom of the screen. Then once the Corn Boss appears in this position, just sprint in any direction and do a dive attack. Rinse and repeat for 7 minutes and the Corn Boss was defeated. I was now in Medusa's lair, where I had to fight fishmen and snakies. This combo of enemies can be very problematic, as you have the aggressive tracking of the fishmen combined with the high damage magic of the snakies. But at this point in the run, I had leveled up my magic enough to have unlocked my magic jump, giving me an instant escape to the air whilst damaging any enemies nearby.
SW Blazer said bye. Also use code RECKER for 10% off your gamer subs and cheeky orders.
See you later, Laserbeam, and thank you so much. And yes, code Recker is the best code. Everyone else's code, poopy and sucks. Code Recker. Want a Giga Chad use that one. Okay, no, Medusa. Okay, awesome. Oh my god. Oh, I can't see her, but I know she a baddie. Oh, Medusa. This is the one boss I do not want to be blindfolded for.
Medusa was the next boss in our run. For this fight, I simply stayed at the top left corner of the screen, as I did not want to get close to the boss. Well, I mean, I do want to get close, but not in that context, you know? That's because Medusa has 2 different attacks when you get in melee range. So instead of risking an up-close fight with Medusa, I opted to just sit in the corner and spam my magic. Now, Medusa would occasionally get close and force her children onto me, but I don't have the money for child support. please like and subscribe. So whenever this would happen, I just punted her children back into her. And so a few hundred dead snake children later, Medusa was defeated. Where unironically, the hardest part of the fight was finding and destroying her body. Next was Full Moon, where I initially struggled to get into a good position for the beefy, but after the first wave, I eventually got into a good spot, allowing me to defeat the beefies with ease and move up towards the ladders.
Am I on a ladder right now? Wait, what? Was I on a ladder? Eh?
Yeah, so I'm sorry to disappoint any ladder strap fans, but it's not happening for this challenge run. After beating Full Moon, I went and paid Glorp a visit, buying the best healing potions in all of the kingdom, before heading out into Snow World. Now, Snow World had a unique problem I haven't ran into yet into this run. For the regular waves of enemies, I had no problem dispatching them with my juggling and magic. But for Snow World specifically, there are these Eskimos who remain behind an ice barrier, only initiating a fight once this barrier has been destroyed, meaning I had to blindly swing around until I found these Eskimos. What made this part confusing is the fact that these tall ice barriers remain even after you destroy them, and hitting them plays the exact same sound as the intact ice barriers, which has 10 hits of health by the way. So a lot of Snow World was spent blindly swinging my sword and spamming magic until all the ice barriers were destroyed. After juggling the remaining Eskimos, I decided to grab the Yeti Animal Orb, who would be a massive help for the upcoming Frost King boss fight.
Yes. All right. So we're going to do like all the way right. Okay. And then like up, left. That should be Yeti. And then down.
You have Yeti.
Nice. Left, up, right. And then like follow the ramp around into Ice Castle. What? Am I still caught in the houses? Right, assuming that I'm stuck where Yeti is. There we go. Jesus. All right.
At least he brought candy. But the confusion did not stop there, as it turns out that reaching the Frost King would be a challenge in and of itself.
Hopefully I kept Yeti and I didn't re-grab fungus. Nice. Up the stairs. And then I should have gone through a door, so now I run right instead of left. And then it's going to play a cutscene.
Where am I? After slowly and painfully crossing the ice bridge, I finally made it to the Frost King boss fight. Which, yeah, it was not fun. You guys know the drill by now. Frost King teleports. I'm constantly getting frozen. Slippery floor, yada yada yada. But at least I only have to fight the Frost King once. Oh, don't tell me.
I'm not even hearing my splash. I don't even know if I'm even summoning splash magic. I can't hear it.
You are cooked.
Did I die?
Please, if you haven't already, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It's my goal to hit 100k by the end of 2026, so I would really appreciate it. Anyway, another 10-minute boss fight later, the Frost King was defeated and the third princess was saved. Hooray. This left me with the final 4 bosses of Castle Crashers. If I could enter the door, that is. The first boss I had to face was the Painter, where I witnessed something I don't think I should have.
I'm in your castle.
Is that where I came from? For the Painter boss fight, the Painter will come down and summon paintings, which will run into me and explode. This is my short damage phase, but just like someone once said, fight fire with fire. Or is it eye for an eye? What I'm trying to say is that I spammed my splash magic and had my drawings run into the painter to explode as well. After some time, I think the painter got a little insecure about his art, as for the second phase, he challenged me to an art contest where we both just spammed our art. The Undead Cyclops was next, which was easily the easiest boss out of the final 4. See, I even said easy twice, it was that easy. All I had to do was block the Cyclops attack, throw my projectile magic, and PP ground strat during the groom phase. In fact, it took me roughly the same time to find the chest after beating this boss than the boss fight itself. The Necromancer was next, and to my surprise, he actually wasn't too bad. For the 2 waves of enemies, I simply used my jump magic to grant me safety in the air, before spamming my air projectile magic that covered the whole ground below. This made short work of the enemies and allowed me to move on to the Necromancer pretty quickly. Where shortly into the fight, I took an unexpected death. Not because it was hard or anything, but more because I had to fight 3 waves of cool minions, the painter, and Undead Cyclops without a potion restock. So after visiting Glorp again and grabbing some healing potions, I defeated both waves of enemies with ease, and proceeded to embarrass the Necromancer with my projectile magic, leaving the Evil Wizard as our final boss. Now, I never thought I would ever say this in any challenge run, but the Evil Wizard was genuinely the hardest boss fight in this whole challenge. Thinking back on this run, there was only one type of boss that I struggled on. Large bosses were fine, small bosses were a joke, stationary bosses were easy, and summoner type bosses were countered by my magic. But one boss type stood out from the rest, and that's flying bosses. And unfortunately for me, 4 out of the 6 Evil Wizard phases were flying. Starting with the first wave, and here I had to destroy the wizard's 4 crystals. Now, out of all of the flying phases for this fight, the crystals were by far the easiest, as they do come down to the ground, which I could use to pinpoint their location. And so after destroying the 4th and final crystal, the Evil Wizard comes down from his high chair and initiates phase 2. Here the Evil Wizard will have 2 different bubbles which periodically switch out. The red bubble will block all magic damage as well as deflecting the damage back into me, whereas the blue bubble blocks melee damage and deflects. But luckily for blindfolded me, the Evil Wizard does different attacks based on his bubble, so I was able to use the audio from these attacks to determine which attacks I should use, finishing him off with a good old magic spam. For phase 3, the Evil Wizard inflates and gets his toes out. Okay, if you say so. Phase 3 is the first real flying phase, where the Evil Wizard does not touch the ground. Instead, he just kind of floats around in a circle whilst dropping these annoying balls that just kind of knock me over. The problem here, however, is that I simply have no idea where he is at any given time, meaning I had to blindly swing my attacks in the hope I get 1 or 2 hits. What makes this even worse is the fact that I can't really use my magic either, since all of Paint Jr.'s magic spawns on the ground, and I kind of spec'd heavily into my magic, so my melee was really weak. But after a lot of wild swinging, I was able to defeat the Evil Wizard's 3rd phase and move on to the 4th, which is another flying phase. Great. However, unlike the previous phase, the Evil Wizard in his spider form does aggro me, meaning as long as I swung in front of me, I was pretty much guaranteed to hit the boss, making the 4th phase go by a lot faster, but also leading me into the 5th phase, which was by far the worst one of the bunch. For this part of the fight, the Evil Wizard simply repeats his 3rd phase, you know, the one where he gets his toes out, but this time, he's a little bit higher than his phase 3 variant, which might not sound that bad, but in practice really is. This slight vertical increase made a massive difference in my ability to hit the wizard. So much in fact that this single phase took longer than all previous phases combined, and even took as long as the entire Frost King boss fight. My strategy here was to find a spot where I could consistently get a hit on the evil wizard, and once I found this spot, I simply did my best to maintain a flying combo and just pray the evil wizard's toes would brush past my face. Repeat this for like 10 plus minutes and we move on to the evil wizard's final phase. Although the final phase does take place on the ground, the evil wizard unfortunately tends to just spam this one meteor move which has him in the air for most of the time. But since he does occasionally scurry around the arena, I simply pulled out the old reliable and spammed my splash magic, resulting in this.
Oh! 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 Oh my god, that is... Oh, I thought I died. Oh, we did it. We did it. Where's the crystal? Where's the crystal? Put me on the crystal. Crystal? Run doesn't enter I land on the crystal. Is that it?
If you liked the video, then don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And if you would like to have your name amongst these awesome people, then consider becoming a channel member for $1 a month. Check out my Twitch at Reckerless TV for some of my streams. And of course, use code Recker for 10% off your gamer subs and cheeky orders. All links can be found in the description below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.